This is our December and last this year allotment tour. Obviously obligatory cold sores and all sorts, but very warm welcome on this fairly mild morning. So we are in this first part of the allotment. I call this the old allotment, the first bit we ever done, and I have to say I am a little bit disappointed because I've planted here two big beds of spring cabbages, and this was going really well, and obviously we have again damage beyond redemption. I think, you know, the mice have been here and eaten everything, which they have done previously to the bed on the left, but these were bigger and I was more hopeful for that. So we have still left one bed of spring cabbages, fingers crossed. Here they are. They need a little bit of weeding. They've been planted maybe 2 weeks earlier than the others, and there's 4 large, the elephant garlic planted, and they all germinated okay. Little bit of weeds. You can see there is a little mound. There's something's been coming in the beginning and we decided not to. So I might have, fingers crossed, if nothing happens, few cabbages here. They also been decimated by something else, but it's not the rodents, because they just go for the top and they just take off the growing tip, which then rendered the plant fairly useless. I am not going to take away those cabbages. Let's see what's going to happen. Actually, there's nothing. The bed's been amended, so look, I still have quite a lot of spinach, and if it survives after Christmas, I shall harvest, blanch and put in the freezer. Few more celeriac growing, and celeries suffering a bit. This is the bed I planted more onions, and I can't see any germination here at all, and the rest of the summer lettuce have now been destroyed by the cold temperature somehow, but there is absolutely no germination here. It would be disappointing. Now these are the purple sprouting broccoli, and if I move back a bit, they still look fine, not terribly sort of lying down or anything. They could have been bigger. They perhaps should have been bigger. Maybe I planted them a little bit late. The next two beds are, well, this is mainly garlic. Garlic already sprouted everywhere. Quite good germination on this. And just what the difference makes when you have celery which you actually cover. So you can see some of those which were damaged by the elements and those which are growing now under cover. And I just don't pull them up whole. I just pinch 2 or 3 sticks. I need more than that, and they keep going. So that's been a success. Now, next bed is the onions I planted first, and now we have a reasonable germination on that. Even those which I didn't think they're gonna make it, they start popping out, although it took them very, very long time. So the flower bed, there are things which are coming out. There's lots of irises coming out that early, and they stay like a little wispy things for most of the winter, and then they start flowering May, June. I covered some of the dahlias with extra compost. They managed to survive last year. I think they probably will this year as well. The blueberries are doing fine. Everything is doing fine. These are my tiny carrots and tiny parsnips. But this is the pot I'm gonna be harvesting next week. These are my Christmas carrots, Christmas parsnips, together with some Christmas potatoes, but we still should get some. I'm just looking. Oh yes, this is I don't want mammoth parsnips. I don't grow them for things, but I grow them for, that they are good size for cooking. And I just have to say, I have not cleared these beds, but the pigeons clear them for them. As I said, I don't entirely begrudge them that. What I begrudge them to do when they eat up completely my radicchio. I'll be growing more radicchio next year because radicchio is absolutely delicious, and I've decided that this is one of the things that is going to become permanent for us growing here. In this part, these were the marigolds. I'm sure there will be more coming next spring. Maybe they will overwinter, who knows. I need to do some sorting out the raspberries here, and that will be probably January, and putting some compost on top with some cardboard because I can see the grass is starting to pop out from that bed. These beds look great. These are some flower beds with dahlias and wallflowers and tulips and so on. So the herb bed, you see some things are doing really well, and the perpetual cabbage or perpetual kale, whatever you call them, that's been again very badly affected by pigeons. And as you can see, they go for the middle for the young leaves, and then they attack them. I might have to rationalize how many of them I have. I might take this one out and trim that and have a little bit less and maybe more herbs next year. Now what I'm going to be harvesting today is this part of this bed. There's some different things here, but this side is the Romanesco cauliflower or Romanesco broccoli, and there is several heads which are ready to be harvested, very harvestable now. So as we have children came over staying with us from Ireland, we're cooking much more, they will be eaten. Now the artichokes still look absolutely fantastic, so I'm expecting big things of them next year, as they have been grown this year from the seed, and we had such a mild weather that they have not perished so far. A few more leeks probably salvable from this bed. Nigel's been extending what he's putting on this side, which is lots of manure, and we will be carrying on up to here where there's some Christmas potatoes, just foliage has been taken off, are sitting in the soil, and we should see how that pans out next week when we're harvesting the carrots and parsnips. And the strawberry bed is really needs cleaning. Now you can see probably be quite easier to do this in January. Well, I say so because I'm trying to excuse myself. Because of the vegetation has died out for winter, you can see the setup here. So we've got a couple of big compost bins, all these bags up full of leaves, so is the compost sort of crate at the end there, various bits and bobs. These are our hazel sticks, which I'm saving for next year. Well, the new and exciting thing is the 2 IBC tanks tucked away here. They will have sails and will collect water, and I think that should give us that kind of reassurance that we will not run out of water, and it's easier for us to manage the water issue. Now Nigel is doing finishing touches to he's been wrapping up the greenhouse for a while. I was quite lucky because it's been not that cold. These are my flower sprouts, and now they have been absolutely obliterated. Look, I have a feeling, I'm not sure if this is was that a rat or a mouse or a pigeon. However, they left me almost no flower sprouts, so I am a little bit cross with them. The purple sprouting broccolis are still having little, and I've seen not on this side, but on the other side there's still little few florets I might pinch today. These are past it, but on the other side I've seen few which are worth picking. The 9-star cauliflower or broccoli, I'm not quite sure, perpetual one, still here. I still have not been eaten by the rats. There's a little bit of kale left, and now we're coming out here to the apiary side, and now I can show you how big actually that is. So I like to have them on the edge because obviously they need some light. The flight path goes behind that hive towards there, and if you put some let's say a barrier, they will fly up rather than straight out on the level of the hive, and I think they have a lovely spot here. It's not too hot for them, but they also have plenty of sunshine, and they know in which direction to go. My favorite bit, the Deadwood Hedge, looks still great. We've got plenty of material to put over in early spring, as we're clearing up things. So much space here. It's absolutely, I love it. It's almost like a little den. If you look up over this gnarly bit of the tree, you know, this is very, very old willow, very old and quite lovely looking thing. I hope it's not going to split. They sometimes split and sort of grow into the sprout new trees and so on. We don't necessarily need new trees, but we just want this to stay because we love it. So I'm going to walk now to the bit of the allotment which we have not touched, because it's quite funny L shape, and it used to be an allotment and we haven't done anything with it. So the part I'm hoping, because it really lends itself to sort of a food forest. So that's what I'm going to be pondering about most of January and February. But there is a pond. Let me just show you. There is a pond here. It just needs clearing and probably relining. But I think this is not as big job as it looks actually. Some lovely things here planted already. There's some hazel further down, and oh god, I forgot the name. But it's very multicolored. It's one of those lovely darker colored ones, better than I have in the back garden. And there is somebody planted a yucca here some time ago, many years ago, and they obviously think it's great stuff because they're growing here wild. So it's got kind of very foresty, woodlandy feeling to it. So we can remove some of these branches because they are on our land, but it still will give that kind of woodlandy feel. So I just give you like 360-degree view of it. Okay, and it's about 40 meters by 40 meters. Plenty of logs here, plenty of material, sort of not used over the years. Masses of bamboo, and I think if we eradicated some of it but left some of it, you could almost make like a hat out of it, you know, if we had a middle of it, and could be quite useful. But lots of it is quite sunny, a little bit damp. You have to remember that it's a bit damp. So we need to see what will like it. Raspberries, blackcurrant, will they like it, will they not like it, and so on. So it's quite lots of careful planning here. You can see through here the Deadwood Hedge and Ace's shelter, and Ace behind that. It's a lovely piece of land, and it definitely needs to work with the wildlife, which must be popping here. So it's an interesting project. I think it's going to take us longer than a year. Next year I would hope that we find a space for a very, very large pergola. This pergola, you can have a table and chairs under and grow pumpkins and squashes. That's the plan. And resurrect this pond, which would be absolutely charming, because obviously we garden for lots of things, but for food, and also just to have fun and enjoy it. So that, I think, is the next year project. Before we finish, I think we just pop into the greenhouse, say hello to Nigel, because he's been my hero. It's a very busy period work-wise for me, so I'm not here very often in winter, and I'm relying that he's doing all this tidying up and amending and things. So hello Nigel.
Hello.
How is it going? Are we finished with it? Oh, that looks fantastic on the back. That really does. It's been very, very mild, so let me have a look at the things. Lots of things which sprouted has wilted. It must have been too damp. You know, the damp issue, when things grow and then they just fold over. Well, we had that. But chilies seem to be thriving. The salvias seem to be thriving. The aubergines, well, that will be another issue if we find that out next year, if they are thriving or not. Peppers still look green. The other salvias, no, everything looks fine. So what we've got here, we've got again the problem of dumping off the with the peas, and that's very, very sad. I might start them at home. I don't know. I have to think about that one. We have some onions which I planted in these because I might plant them somewhere else later on, once they kind of properly popped out. And here we've got some, actually on the right hand side I know what we have. I haven't got a clue what we have on the left hand side. So we've got some ami just germinated, and we've got some cornflower, and we've got some tiny specks of coriander. So something's germinated here. And in this one, I have a feeling we might have some beetroot. We might have some, I have no idea actually, because the labels have gone. But we have some germination, so we'll look after these and we see if we grow something out of them. Then I will know if they were successful. I had some sorrel. I have a feeling that the last one is actually sorrel, and that's brilliant. If that's it is what I think it is. So mixed feelings about lots of things.
Well, goodbye from a damp, cool allotment on Saturday. Hope you all have a good Christmas, and see you next year.
No, see you next week.
Oh, sorry.
And we're still bringing some leaves, and we'll be bringing some leaves for a while.